92 FM 949 Ibadan. And then you take down the phone number to call ahead of time so that when it's time to speak to me, you know the number to call. 090-62,949. 090-62,000-949. If I can take that one more time. 090-62,949. It is not yet time to call. I can see that the phone is buzzing already. Not yet time to call because you don't even know what I want to talk about. So just hold on. So you're welcome. The podium this morning promises to be engaging, promises to be exciting, and of course, thought-provoking. As is the tradition, I'm wondering if I should take a music break because I have a lot I want to do this morning. There are two guests I'm going to be speaking with, and I really want to maximize my engagement with them while I also give you time to react to whatever their thoughts are. It will be a short music break in keeping with the tradition on the program. I'm going to be playing Idris Abdulkarim's Country Hard. Country Hard. You know, he just did a remix of Nigeria Jaga Jaga. I was thinking I was going to play that this morning, but I couldn't get that song to get downloaded quickly. Next Saturday, we're going to feast on that song, or even maybe before, towards the end of the program, I should be able to feast on that. It speaks to Nigeria as it is. People do not like to hear it, but the podium is dedicated to hard talk, hard and sincere talk. If the NBC has not banned it, oh, really? Okay, so my studio manager is telling me that the NBC has banned it. I was expecting that to happen. I mean, you know, for the past 6 years, the nation appears to be on a gag mode. Let's cut it. Idris Abdulkarim's Country Hard. I'll be back.
Mr. DJ, music no daylight. Make you just stay jam as we dey try survive. Country hard, but we go overcome. Forget your sorrow, yeah, we overcome. Ojoro rande, but we go overcome. Ojoro rande, but we go overcome. Republic of suffering and smiling. Number one capital for poverty. Got our independent 1960. Most corrupt and bad leadership. No human right, no justice. Poverty, they celebrate terrorism. Professor, they work for illiterate. Unemployment on the replay. Most of guys at the top, no get certificate. Chinese doctor don't escape. Our health minister no know where they did. God bless our health workers. We they represent on the front line. Nigerians are suffering and smiling. It's time for Nigerians to wake up. Biafra say they won't break up. But we go overcome. Forget your sorrow. Yeah, we overcome. Ojoro rande, but we go overcome. Ojoro rande, but we go overcome. Our people say they funny, oh yeah. They go they complain plenty, oh yeah. But when it reach them turny, oh yeah. They say go do so funny, oh yeah. Our money don't grow wing, and it don't they fly like lava, 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 lava. Dollar and a 400 naira. When will dollar equal naira? Why we they borrow from China? Just to service our budget. Lack of proper direction. We need economic revolution. If the poor man no go fit sleep, I swear the rich no go fit sleep. Leaders with a share coconut tree. Now their own head with a good break. God. They say you be lazy youth. Election time, they go use you. Music no daylight. Make you just a jam. As we they try survive. Country hard, but we go overcome. Forget your sorrow, yeah we overcome. Ojoro dande, but we go overcome. Ojoro dande, but we go overcome. Country hard, but we go overcome. Forget your sorrow, yeah we go overcome. Ojoro dande, but we go back up. Ojoro dande, but we go back up. Yeah. Our people say they funny, oh yeah. They go they complain plenty, oh yeah. But when it reach them done, oh yeah. They say go do so funny, oh yeah. Safa sa peli sizo simyama. Iwasafa.
Isizo saba.
Yavula mo.
Jalemi ko kalize.
Wenhaye wemodo. Safa sa peli sizo simyama. Iwasafa.
Isizo saba.
Yavula mo.
Jalemi ko kalize.
Well, that was Idris Abdul Karim featuring Sound Sultan. The words you heard are not my words, they are the words of Idris Abdul Karim. This song wasn't released yesterday. He sang it at a time when the exchange rate of the dollar to the naira was 400 naira. Today, you exchange the dollar for the naira at a parallel market for something in the region of 500 plus. You know what I wonder is how we do not respect our musicians, especially those of them who have philosophical leanings. Those who would sit back, appraise the situation of the country, and then begin to make projections or create a connect between where we were coming from, where we are, and where we appear to be heading. You had that part, professor working for illiterate. You know, sometimes you just sit back and you wonder, are we not all mumu at the end of the day? There are words we don't like to hear. There are verdicts we don't like to pass. The drama with Pantami, have you been following it? Have you seen how that event was thrown back in our face by the president, Mr. Integrity? Have you seen the nonchalance? Have you observed the nonchalance? The I could care less, you could go hang yourself manner in which that speech or that press release by Garba Shehu was flung in the faces of Nigerians. Now, the fact for me is that it does show that we've not even taken any step forward in terms of how we treat ourselves. We're taking millions of steps backward. Nigeria appears to be a place where misfortune no longer evokes sadness. When you hear people die, and I'm going to ask a question, when last did Nigeria even fly its flag at half-mast? We are used to death. We are used to bloodshed. We are used to bad news. It has become the norm. And then when we wake up in the morning and we hear that bandits have killed 3 of the abducted university students in Kaduna, we just read it and take it as it is one of those things. Misfortune has become a regular color that you see when the day breaks in Nigeria. And that is why this morning on the podium, we'll be having 2 segments. The first segment, we'll be discussing the death of Idris Deby of the Chad Republic and its implications on security for Nigeria. Is there anything that a government in comatose like Nigeria's can learn from the life of Idris Deby? Do not mistake that Idris Deby was a despot. He was a totalitarian to the core. But were there things about Idris Deby that we could compare with what we have in Nigeria today? And then what are some of the implications of the death of Idris Deby and then the ascension to the throne of his son, General Kaka? Is there a cause for Nigeria to be worried? Did you see that video of thousands of Chadians crossing the bridge that links Chad to Cameroon? That spot is reported to be 40 kilometers away from the borders of Nigeria. Does Nigeria even have the capacity to host refugees coming from the Chad Republic? Remember, our borders are porous. Our borders, especially towards the north, very porous. And that was why when imported rice was reportedly banned in the south, rice found a way to miraculously come into Nigeria through the north. The second part of the program, we will be discussing the Buhari administration and its struggle for integrity. We will look at the angle of the Pantami crisis. I like to call it Pantami Gate. We will look at it and compare with the story of Kemi Adeosun, the former Minister of Finance. We're going to find an angle into the Boko Haram issue, the repentant bandits, according to government. The Boko Haram soldiers who renounced their ideology and then later went back into it after spying on the cities in the north. It will be an engaging talk this morning. You just sit back. Don't be in a hurry. If you have a cup of coffee, sip it, get another jug and load it. You're going to have to drink a lot. If you are eating, finish up your meal so that you can concentrate. It is Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria always. Like I used to say on the program, don't get tired of talking. The government wants you to stop talking. The instruments of state, agencies of state are going to be mobilized to gag you. They'll stop your music from playing. They sanction you for talking. They are going to try to pass a bill in the National Assembly. Whatever you say, they call it hate speech. They are going to send people after you. Just find a way of shutting you up. But when you can talk, talk. Because the fact of the matter is that you stop talking about Nigeria, Nigeria is going to go down. When Nigeria goes down, everybody is going to go down. Even if you run out of Nigeria, wherever you run to, there is a stigma. You came from a state that failed. So if you have the opportunity to talk, talk. After all, if we talk, we die. If we no talk, we die. All die, not die. If you have to talk, you should talk. The podium returns in a moment. It is a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. And when we come, Comrade Adeola Soetan of the Democracy Vanguard will be my first guest. Don't forget. Talk.
32 FM 94.9.
Cannabis Homes and Properties ló kórede. Ẹ wá ralẹ̀ kẹ́dọ̀ nílé lórí. Ẹ wá ní landlord.
Ẹ̀dá tí ò mọ bí tẹ́gbẹ́ rẹ̀ ti ń là. Irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó mọ̀ ṣe làálàá lásán. Ilé-iṣẹ́ Cannabis Homes and Properties wọ́n ti ṣetán láti sọ kó wá donílẹ̀ rọrùn. Nínú àwẹ̀ Ramadan tọdún 2021 yìí o. Tí ẹ bá tún ṣe ń ralẹ̀ lẹ́tùn máa gba páàkì. Ilé ìtókùn fún ẹ̀bùn lóríṣiríṣi. Bíi Semovita, mílíkì, ṣúgà, bọ́ǹfìtà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ilẹ̀ plọ̀tì kan ní Treasure Estate tó wà ní Ìdó ti di 550,000 naira. Torí ti àwẹ̀ Ramadan yìí ni tẹ́sí tó gba ẹ̀bùn páàkì Victory Estate tó ń bẹ ní Alábàtà Mọ́níyà tí ò ju ìwakọ̀ ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún péré Senior Railway àti Dry Port. Ó náà ti di 700,000 naira lásìkò tá a wà yìí. Ààyè sísan díẹ̀díẹ̀ tún wà. Cannabis Homes and Properties wọ́n wà ní Prime Time Plaza Ọba Alẹ́sìn lọ́yẹ̀ phase 2 lójú ọ̀nà tó lọ sí Free Ìbàdàn 0904 779 7352 àti 0818 841 8137.
Cannabis Homes and Properties ló ń pè yín o.
Guy, You don't see that new funny video for Twitter? That one with the boy.
You mean this one?
What of that brother Shaggy news kit where they circulate WhatsApp?
Oh, this one.
What of that meme where the guy
when mouth open like this, ba?
Mr. No Ito, which data you they use know all these things?
Now Glow new data plans get me.
Are you serious?
With just 50 naira, and they get 50 MB. And with just 100 naira, and they get 150 MB. We have to use chat or browse on top Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Don't dull yourself, oh. Dial star 777 hash now. Make you begin the browse, they go.
Glow Unlimited.
Charles!
Yes, mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using 1 to soak the whites and using 1 to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Good news from AgroLink to all farmers and anyone aspiring to venture into farming. AgroLink is a reputable, people-oriented company that specializes in mechanizing farming business, irrigation, crop production, and animal production management in both small or large-scale sizes. Sales of acres of land for farming purposes at very affordable prices. Animal farming equipment, silos construction, oil milling processing equipment, and agrochemical are for sale. Sure, AgroLink is your best plug for farming business. Visit us today at Law Haven beside St. Anne's Anglican Hospital, Molete Challenge, Ibadan, or call 0706-219-3352 and 081-1500-9902. AgroLink, your dependable link to our Greek business.
ọ̀rọ̀ ayé wa ń fẹ́ àtúnṣe ọlọ́run fàánú yanjú ẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni o májẹ̀mú àti pé wòlíì prophetess evangelist dr gbemisola ibrahim jb oníkojúkò káàkiri àgbáyé lórí tí wọ́n ṣe lábẹ́ ìpè yìí o. wákàtí àtúnṣe gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun tuesday ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ ló wáyé láago 9 àárọ̀ sáago 12 ọ̀sán nínú ilé ọlọ́run wa CAC covenant miracle prayer ministries tó wà number 4 covenant church building lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ bricklayers association house sípà garage junction akala express road odùọ̀nà iléwé ìbàdàn tó bá wà dọjọ́ wednesday ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ nípàdé àdúrà tá a pa kórí ẹ̀ ní fanu yanjú ẹ̀ wáyé o lẹ́ka ìjọ wa tó wà lẹ́yìn 18 to 22 shopping plaza first gate sádójúkọ ìdíọ̀yà transformer ìdíọ̀yà junction off akala express road new garage ìbàdàn láago 9 òwúrọ̀ sáago 12 ọ̀sán nọ́mbà yìí ni kẹ́pẹ́ 08055164104 tàbí 08115461606 jẹ́nà oníṣòro ṣe lórúkọ Jésù àmì ọ́.
ìrìn àjò sókè òkun ti di ìrọ̀rùn pẹ̀lú Best Solution Consulting Services ó yá ká lọ sọ́dọ̀ wọn ẹni tó mọ̀nà ló yẹ ká tẹ̀lé o.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni ìrọ̀rùn gbà ló bá dé o láti gbé ṣiṣẹ́ kàwé àti láti lọ fún ìrìn àjò afẹ́ lókè òkun. Best Solution Consulting Services Limited lóní kẹ́ ẹ má dààmú kiri mọ́ o. wọ́n ń tọ́ni sọ́nà láti gba físà nírọ̀rùn. wọ́n ń bá ní ṣètò ticketing àti hotel reservation. wọ́n ní àjọṣepọ̀ tó dánmọ́rán pẹ̀lú àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè bíi UK, USA, Spain, Poland, Lithuania, Malaysia, Mauritius àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. gbogbo akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹ máa yọ̀ lọ́wọ́ kan ni wọ́n bá yín gba study permit láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè wọ̀nyí. ẹ ó sì láǹfààní àti máa ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń kàwé bákan náà. Best Solution Consulting Services Limited wà ní 18 to 20 Ìsúrú Oṣó layout Sharp Corner Olúyọ̀lé Estate Extension Off Ring Road Ìbàdàn. Telephone 081-124-73981 àti 070-659-71943. Website www.bestsolutionconsult.com.
múmínà tù àkú oríire oṣù àpọ́nlé wọlé oṣù ìkẹ́ oṣù rámọ́dánà design homes and property tọ́ni ìkíyí ilé iṣẹ́ kan tẹ́tí mọ̀ tọ́jọ́jú lọ́wọ́ àwọn ni wọ́n talẹ̀ tún bá ní ìfẹ́lẹ́ láì mú nira dání tàbí láì lò èmi gangan fọwọ́ sọ̀yà pójú lọ́wọ́ ní wọ́n Ramadan promo ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lórí gbogbo ilẹ̀ tí wọ́n ní pátá free registration form oníkálukú buy two get one free yẹn ń bẹ níbẹ̀ o ẹ lè pè wọ́n sórí ẹ̀rọ 09033751110. ẹ bá wọn dòwò pọ̀ lónìí ẹ rí bóyá tó. Design Resources and Property wọ́n ní Akin Ramadan kẹrin mú àkúwádùn.
ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ wa ti kọjá ká sọ iléèwé dágbádá wá nǹkan jẹ o. ìdí rèé tí àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tí ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ìwé wa jẹ lógún fi ṣàgbékalẹ̀ iléèwé kan àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tí ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àti ti ilẹ̀ Germany sì bu òǹtẹ̀lù HEZEKIAH Coast International German School. iléèwé tó fún àwọn ìwé wa ní ọgbọ́n òun ìmọ̀ tí ó yè kooro lọ́nà ẹ̀kọ́ ti orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àti ti orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ Germany. à ń kọ́ àwọn òbówẹrẹ wa láti jẹ́lé osinmi crèche primary àti secondary. gbogbo àwọn olùkọ́ wa aláwọ̀ dúdú àti aláwọ̀ funfun ni wọ́n kójú òṣùwọ̀n. àyíká wa rẹwà ó sì dùn wò lójú. owó wa ò gani lára rárá. àǹfààní wà fún àwọn ọmọ iléèwé wa láti lọ rèé ṣe ọlídé ní orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ Germany ní gbogbo ìgbà tí wọ́n bá ń bẹ lẹ́nu ìsinmi sọ́mà. ọgbà bí wọ́n bá sì ti parí ẹ̀kọ́ wọn tí wọ́n sì gba ìwé ẹ̀rí mo yanrantí ààyè àti kàwé sí gbé àti ṣiṣẹ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ Germany ti di ìrọ̀rùn nìyẹn. ẹ yá tètè wá fi orúkọ ọmọ yín sílẹ̀ ní iléèwé HEZEKIAH Coast International German School 33 Adeyi Street off Awolowo Road nítòsí Davis Hotel Old Bodija Ìbàdàn. telephone
0812-325-5076 tàbí 0812-141-6830.
Adio. Bàbá ẹ kú kalẹ̀. Wá wo nǹkan. Ó rí pé àtòkèrè ló ń là káyè tí wọ́n ń wo sàkún nǹkan. Ṣáájú káwọn kan tó máa fóúnjẹ láwa lójú níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti káwọn ọ̀dọ́ kan jọ sílùú Awẹ́ láti máa kọ́ nípa iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà tìgbàlódé lábẹ́ àmójútó àjọ IITA.
Mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá ṣẹ́yìn ọ̀gbọ́n tí ń lọ ń gbòòrò ni wọ́n ní ìṣèjọba tí ń bẹ lóde báyìí audio government ni wọ́n ń pè.
Èwo lẹ̀ ń pè báwọn.
ìjọba tí ń fẹnu yaran sọ́bẹ̀.
Àdìó ní bí mo ti wí fún wọn pé kó yé mọ pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ̀já wúrà ṣé nǹkan tá a fojú rí ni àbí n tó farasin. àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ń lọ lọ́wọ́ lórí àwọn ọ̀nà jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ iṣẹ́ sì ń lọ lọ́wọ́ báyìí lórí ètò ìlera tó múnádóko ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ò sì gbẹ́yìn o bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ò láláṣẹ mọ́ kí wọ́n tó rẹ́tọ̀ wọn gbà.
bàbá gbogbo ń tẹ́ ẹ sọ yóò tọ́ ni kò sí rọ́ńbẹ́ àmọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ yìí lọ́wọ́rọ́ pọ̀ kò jónú ẹ̀rí bí gbòòrò ti rí ni ṣé bó ṣe yóò rí nu ẹ sì mọ̀ pé eégún tó bá rorò làwọn á kó bí ìbọn lẹ̀.
Àdìó àti gbọ́njú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́nkìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ eégún tó bá ṣoore fún wa báyìí làwọn à ń kó bí ìbọn.
ẹ kú àgbà bàbá. ilé-iṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
olówó orí mi má bínú sí mi aláàlè pẹ́.
obìnrin ṣá kí n gbé ọ lọ sírun ọ̀sẹ̀ mẹ́kọ̀ọ̀bù nítorí gbé ọ lọ ọ̀dọ́ télọ̀ èmi gan sì ti gbàsọ mi n bò mo ti ara yà ń wégele fẹ́ fan.
èsì àwọn obìnrin lọ rí un ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo ohun tó fẹ́ lójú kan ló wà l'Alabama House àmọ́ àwọn ìwégele fẹ́ fan o. tó bá ń gbọ́lé ẹ̀ṣọ́ ilé oge Alabama House ní jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ Diamond Standard Beauty and Spa ló ti ṣojú lóge tó fi mọ́ pẹ́díkíọ̀ máníkíọ̀ bó sì ṣe ká bọ̀ tóra rẹ̀ ìyún màsáàjì irun tá a bá bọ̀ ṣe lọ́kùnrin tàbóbìnrin ọ̀ dàrí mọ́lẹ̀ lọ́ni àwòpadà sẹ́yìn needle and thread bespoke tailoring bẹ́ẹ̀ tá ti ń faṣọ dára lóríṣiríṣi tí ó dàbí ẹni pé wọ́n bímọ ni. àyè sì tún wà fẹ́yìn tẹ́ fẹ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípa bọ́n ṣe ránṣọ. ìyún fashion school gbogbo ohun tó fẹ́ lójú kan ló wà l'Alabama House suite 1 ládojúkọ FRSC office tuntun lọ́pọ̀pọ̀nà dùgbẹ̀sẹ̀ lẹ́yẹlé Benjamin Ìbàdàn 08074029577. Alabama House ilé oge ààfin ẹwà.
Safa sapeli sizo simnyama Iwasafa isizo saba Yamula mo Anijaleni mo Kalize Wimaye wemolo Safa sapeli sizo simnyama Iwasafa isizo saba Yamula mo Anijaleni mo Kalize Maya ngiyakhala Wasafasa phela isizwe sinyama Iwasafa isizwe sabantu Alamula Anitsheleni konke lize Wemale wemolo
All right, thank you for staying with us on the program this morning. In case you're just joining, the program is The Podium on 32 FM 94.9. The first discussion we are having is the death of Idris Deby, the former president of the Chad Republic, and its implications for security in Nigeria. And of course, the takeaways that we can see in how Idris Deby conducted himself, especially towards the end of his life when he had to stand up to Boko Haram, the bandits, and other vile security incursions into his territory. Discussing with me this morning is, and he's joining me on phone from Lagos, the National Coordinator of Democracy Vanguard, Comrade Adeola Shueto. Comrade, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Very well. It's nice to have you on the program.
Oh, nice to have you too.
Okay, Comrade, I reached out to you when I read your position. It was a very short piece on General Idris Deby. And the first thing you said was, let me quote you. Excuse me. You said, General Deby showed he was indeed a general. At least he led his army from the front for many years before he fell in the battle, unlike our General Arabi, who promised to lead from the front but became invisible and lethargic with aristocratic aloofness, while thousands of citizens are killed with impunity by Boko Haram and bandits. For me, that's heroism of a kind. And Deby only reminded us that the word general, a prefix attached to every senior army officer, is not the same as general in General Hospital or General Kolinti Aila, the Fuji professor master around the world. Now, that was a scathing remark, and we do not need to pretend that you were not. We do not need to pretend that you were not launching a direct attack at the leadership of Nigeria. Why are you this angry?
Well, everybody should be angry in Nigeria. He who is not angry at one time or the other should please visit the next psychiatric hospital that is very, very close to him or her. This is not the Nigeria we inherited, and everybody can see the state of total insecurity in the country. Well, I tried to make allusion to comparison between two bad hands. Yeah, Deby led his team by the front, but it was never a political issue in terms of how General Buhari voluntarily said that he was going to lead, at the front. So invariably, that is happening now shows that statement made during the political campaign was a lie, a fallacy, and the man never meant it. Just yesterday, 3 of the abducted Greenfield University students were murdered by bandits, just like street chicken. He who is not a father, at least must be a human being. I had not get myself since I read that very bad news since last night. I now wonder how Mr. President Buhari manages to sleep and wake up every day with all this problem. I was even shocked that even those who are technical school students, because when I was reading paper today, that I discovered that we still have 29 of them over a month now with bandits. Then you start wondering, if a general in the army could govern a nation with this terrible security situation, then what happens to those who are jostling for position without giving adequate knowledge and attention to the rot we find ourselves. Buhari did not create the insecure situation. I think you have to know that. But he escalated it through his lethargy, through his aristocratic aloofness, and of course, through his I don't care attitude and his utterances. Go back to 2, 3, 4 years ago when this herdsman terrorism started, against farmers. What were the issues? The federal government deliberately got the narrative wrong for a purpose. And the purpose is just clannish. One, they were saying that the cause is because the grazing route of herders have been blocked. So they had no option than to graze anywhere, graze their cows anywhere. To me, that is the most stupid statement to make by any leader in the world. Then he went ahead, even his chief security NSA, at a meeting after the massacre in Benue. He said, what do you want them to do? And that statement, words are like eggs. When they break, they never come back as whole. And those terrible wars made in those years have dominated now to giving bandits, Boko Haram, enough confidence to do it. Why I made allusion to General Debbie, a warlord, a bandit himself? His history. He was with Hebe before. Later, he overthrew that one. In fact, Chad is a republic of warlords. You can see Obi spent 30 years. But there was one thing he showed, that a general, that title, is not for fun. And it can't be for fun. And I hate people say that generals don't lead war. To me, that is nonsense. Kings lead war if and where necessary. And when the general leads war, it means the whole army is with him. And it's instill confidence in his army and his people.
Comrade Shweto, the argument would be that President Buhari is now a democratic leader, that the comparison with Idris Deby, who is an authoritarian, all right, would not work.
No. Once a general is always a general. And mark you, is the commander-in-chief. And what it means is that he has responsibility to secure the nation, even if it means losing his own life. That is what leadership is all about. Leadership is not the paraphernalia of office, the jet, the offices, the enjoyment, the traveling for medical. No. Leadership, we have led and we are still leading. Leadership is about making sure that you secure your people. Even prophets in different religions. We've had Ogun, we've had Shango, we have Nabi Muhammad, we've had Jesus Christ that sacrificed for their people on the basis of what they believe is good for their people. Leadership is not about semantics. He voluntarily said that I am going to lead from the front. Is anything from the front? No. We are tired of government is on top of the situation. I even joke one time that, look, let government be below the situation for the first time. You have been on top and nothing happened. So we are here now because there is total insecurity, poverty, unemployment. When you unleash neoliberal economic policy of privatization, of liberalization, of devaluation, of commercialization, you can't escape it. You can't escape insecurity. We are talking of close to 13 million out-of-school children. We are talking of 34% unemployment, youth unemployment. So what do you expect? And mark you, This thing has started in the northeast, it has come to the northwest, now central, and of course, it has come to the south. I was shocked that even Ogun State now, indigenes have become IDPs in Benin. I would never have thought that would happen to my state and any other state for that matter. So you start to wonder how Mr. President and his team are feeling with all these killings, murder, kidnap, and just the same routine excuses and passive blames. Blame and excuses don't govern a nation. They got the narrative wrong from day one, and their intervention has been so lethargic, so clannish, and of course, not having enough push. How do you allow what Mr. President said? Nigeria should arrest people with AK-47. I put a public statement out that Mr. President was joking. You know where people who illegally have AK-47 were living in the forest. Go and meet them there. Let the army go there, police go there. Instead of disturbing NSAS protesters, peaceful protesters in the east, and of course, protesters that are peaceful in the north. You don't wait to his name. Do I have AK-49 that I will wrestle power from AK-47? And about 2 months since he made that order, how many people, how many AK-47 within bandits have been arrested? It can't happen. You take the battle to their forest. You take the battle to their empire, where they are now kings of the jungle. You don't wait. Tell me, all these villages around our neighbors, they are exposed. Journalists hang out. I watched 2-3 days ago, and I was shocked that bandits, Boko Haram, who attack Adamawa for 6 hours. Can you imagine? A village was attacked for 6 hours. It was there. I also learned that in Borno, Boko Haram attacked the community 5 times in a week. Then you start to wonder. And I need you to wonder, I need you to all. These are poor people making a living. These are poor people that cannot go to farm again. And what will be the response of government? Irresponsible, very, very, very stupid statement, telling us that, well, we have to fight terrorists by ourselves with our guns. Do we have? With our stones? Do we even have that one? So it is a question of Mr. President to resign voluntarily. I've been saying this because that is the fundamental role of government.
Okay.
Security of life and property of citizens.
All right. I'll ask you 2 more questions, and then I'll allow you to go enjoy your weekend. Let me take this. It's going to be a long one, so I'll need you to follow me. Now, the death of Idris Deby has left a very huge gap in a country that will likely have a very profound security implication on Nigeria. Now, let's look at this first part. Already, as we speak, now some towns in Chad are being left. In fact, in Damasak and Dikwa, rather for Nigeria, Damasak and Dikwa. Now, these are towns that are close to the Chadian border. UN staff have suspended humanitarian operations because they are already worried that the emerging trouble in Chad could spill over into Nigeria. And then from a strategic point of view, there appears to be a ring forming around Nigeria. Now, rebels have killed the president of Chad. There has been a coup attempt in the Niger Republic after their president, visited the president of Nigeria for iftar. Then in Benin, after the re-election of Patrice Talon, now there has been instability because democratic norms and institutions are being dismantled. There is right now another coup in Niger is a huge possibility. That's how it has been forecast already. Mali is likely to also feel the impact of a problem that could come from Niger. Then you have Cameroon, all right, where Paul Biya has a son who is also inexperienced, and he will be challenged for leadership if anything happens. That's also putting in perspective the ongoing rebellion on the western flank of Cameroon, which borders Nigeria. And you see, the final part of that circle is the Gulf of Guinea. Are you worried as an observer and as a socio-political commentator that Nigeria appears to be in the midst, okay, of nations that are troubled, and Nigeria itself is troubled? 2023 is coming. Politicians have their eyes on 2023. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is junketing the nation, trying to build political alliances across different aisles. Now, you have a certain Tambua who is mentioned to also be in the running. Kayode Fayemi has been fingered to have an interest. Nasir El-Rufai has been. So, are you worried as an observer that Nigeria is sleeping in the midst of its own conflict and the conflicts around it? And what can be done to save the situation before it escalates?
Anyway, in the first instance, Nigeria has become the epicenter of terrorism and banditry, because many of these foreigners, particularly the violent international Fulani bandits and herdsmen, that by omission or commission, this government has given them the go ahead to come to Nigeria anyhow. So Nigeria has become an epicenter. Many of these terrorists, after the collapse of Gaddafi regime, and of course, Chad, Niger, have never known peace for decades. So nobody will be thinking that peace will be restored in those two countries very soon. So we are definitely in danger. It's going to escalate. It's going to escalate. What happened in all these areas you have mentioned has a multiplier effect on Nigeria, and it's already escalating it. Many of these Fulanis that are committing atrocity, many are not Fulani Nigeria, but there's a deliberate policy by some of these people, particularly Bauchi governor, who has said that Fulani anywhere is Fulani everywhere. That is, Fulani in Mali, in Senegal, in Niger can have easy access, to Nigeria. And this has not been debunked. No matter what we call ECOWAS protocol that allow free movement of cattle or livestock, it can't be at the expense of your security, at the expense of lives and property of your people. So we are not only going to see movement of livestock now, we are going to see more movement of gangsters, of bandits, because Nigeria is free. Somebody was saying we had over 2,000 borders that were not protected. So you can imagine that. That is why it's so easy. I believe that most of these things being done are done by foreigners who were invited or who got their way during the political campaign or who just throw in for economic survival. As we speak now, it's almost difficult to define who a Nigerian is. As I'm talking to you, you see them in Lagos, you see them in Ibadan, you see them in major places. These are not Nigerians. Most of them are not Nigerians. I was at a club when one boy came to sell sweets, and other things to us. I engaged him. He said he was a Nigerian, that he came with his cow, and he had sold the cow, and he had to stay in Nigeria because he did not. That what they normally do is when they give them 100 cows, they take 1 or 2, and even if the cows die, there is going to be, at the cost that they will not pay at the end of the day. So he is settled now in Nigeria. He looked cheerful. He had a something he's doing. But you can imagine thousands and millions that have come. And this is a country that we don't have any documentation. Any. Come to Lagos, go to Ibadan, go to Zaria, go to Niger, go to Niger State, go to any, even Abuja. So we have a problem. And I hope government will not be lethargic by allowing the military to do a total patrol. And of course, this is the time that Nigeria must play a leadership role by calling the immediate meeting of ECOWAS so that we can have a concerted sub-regional response to what has happened. A country cannot do it alone. It's important. And Mark, you ask yourself, why are this country engulfed in crisis? It's because over the years, they have unleashed neoliberalism, pro-capitalist government on the people, where just very few in government, like in Nigeria or rest of government, are rich. And of course, mass of people are poor. Go to Chad. Chad is just like a destitute camp. You see a lot of people, you see their army, you see our camps. So, as I'm talking to you, over 82% of Chad live below $2 per day. By United Nations classification, Chad is the 8th poorest country in the world. And poverty and peace don't live together. Poverty and democracy don't harmonize. Where you have crushing poverty, you can never get peace. The same applies to Niger. So government must be very careful the way they give impression that Nigeria is homeland to any sort of people that can just come. Why I appreciate as an internationalist that workers of the world don't have segregation when it comes to their economic stand. But at the same time, security is very, very important. And are these people workers? They are not. They are gangsters. And mark you, when those who are adjusting for political offices are just why these are individuals that came up with campaigns of restructuring, of fiscal federalism, of local government autonomy, and of course, ethnic nationality right for self-determination. They have abandoned those ideas on which they campaigned against. When they brought Buhari, an ultra-conservative person, and they addressed him in the very group of progressive, they knew they were deceiving Nigerians. Have you ever had Buhari position on local government autonomy, on restructuring, on right of ethnic nationality, on education, on workers' minimum wage? You go and read Awolowo books. I got to read Awolowo when I was secondary school. By the time I was in class 4, I almost read 3 or 4 books of Awolowo. So I could understand him. I could understand his philosophy. I could understand his world outlook. Fayemi, Tinubu, Buhari, and others who have been jostling for power selfishly and greedily. You cannot know what they stand for. And philosophy and ideology comes before power, before you start seeking for power. They're just seeking for power's sake.
Absolutely.
They're just seeking for power's sake. So what are the issues? Tinubu, for over 30 years with others, were hawking through federalism. They are hawking ethnic nationalism, right? Today they have abandoned it. Even Lagos local government that was in Kuwait for 6 years of Buhari regime now, they have not been able to get those local governments recognized by the National Assembly. Yet the initial lie was that Obasanjo government did not allow it. Now you are in power. That is minimum you can do to know that you are really in power. So it's just about power for power's sake. Like I always tell people, I don't appeal to politicians because most of them are political hoodlums. I appeal to understand what they want.
Hello, comrade. We're losing you. Oh.
Hello?
Okay, comrade. It's better now. I'll give you 2 minutes to round up.
Okay. So we appeal to Nigerians across ethnic religious line. It's not to be despondent. If you say in the village far from you and you feel no concern, you are joking. Crime is like a wildfire. Crime is like a wide wind. It will blow. You can imagine a university, a private university. I could not imagine a day except we are going. You go to classes 2 a.m., 3 a.m. If I went, I was the president of Students Union in IFE, I used to sleep in my office. Can you do that now?
That was even happening when I was in IFE myself. I mean, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Even ladies would walk alone on campus. Ladies would walk alone.
Exactly. I go to EDL after pharmacy to go and read at night. When we wanted to go for any nurse convention, we won't leave IFE campus until 11 p.m., 12 a.m. before we go to Kano, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Maiduguri. Can we do that now? Can we do that? You will stop at Pokwa, you will enjoy yourself, stop at Kaduna, enjoy yourselves, you go to Bayero, midnight. You don't think of any, can somebody do that now? So what are we talking about? So I go to appeal to citizens to know that they have to vote out this bunch of non-principle, non-ideological politicians. I start thinking of socialist parties there. There are other parties are there. You don't say, no, there's a problem. People always think that they want to vote for parties. That's, to me, that's crazy. You don't vote for parties that will win. You vote.
Okay, Comrade Sheto.
If they are not rich.
Okay, Comrade Sheto, you have a lot in your mind. I think one of these days I'm going to bring you back on the program so that we discuss party politics and the choices of the people. I think it's very important we discuss that as we build up to 2023 so that maybe we can help people to get out of this binary thinking of it is either the APC or the PDP. Other parties are there to joke.
And they are the same. And that's why you see them crossing from one point to another.
We're going to organize that engagement, and I hope that I'll have you in person in the studio when that time comes. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for speaking with us this morning, Comrade Sheto.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Please have a very beautiful weekend.
And you too, and our citizens too.
All right, I need to take a commercial break. But two things stand out for me in that discussion with Comrade Adeola Shweto. Number one, Nigerians need to begin to ask questions about the philosophical and ideological convictions of those who want to lead them. I think that is important. And you would recall that before 2015, I cannot remember a book written by President Muhammadu Buhari. I cannot remember an intellectual lecture or speech he delivered prior to those PR-induced Chatham House lectures and the rest of them when he was running for the presidency in 2015. Now, you have a lot of people coming up. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Kade Fayemi is said to be interested. Dave Umai of Ebonyi State is said to be interested. Nasir Al-Rufai is interested. Can we begin to interrogate what these people stand for? What are their persuasions? Yes, about governance, about nation building. Maybe we can begin to ask those questions. And number two is the question of party politics and the choice of people. Binary thinking. If you're not with APC or PDP, you are seen as a joker. That led to the technical death of a party in Oyo State and Nigeria at large. I do not want to mention that party. And then you have other parties, smaller parties that are being swallowed up by the big fishes. After this commercial break, I will be speaking with Dr. Segun Oshinaga. Dr. Segun Oshinaga is an APC chieftain and a Buharist. I'll be speaking to him about the Buhari administration and the question of its much touted integrity. You need to hear Dr. Segun Oshinaga. Don't go away. The podium will return in a moment.
FM 94.9.
Ibadan. Here is another dimension of the Spirit and power of God.
Let your power flow.
Apostle Professor Johnson Sulaiman storms Ibadan with fresh fire and mantles with the theme Generational Impact. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ipa tìrandíran làkórí ìpéjọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú Apostle Professor Johnson Sulaiman tí yóò máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ Tuesday 27 àti Wednesday 28th of April ọdún 2021 láago 7 àárọ̀ àti aago 3 ọ̀sán. Come with your friends and family to have a supernatural encounter that will empower you for generational impact at the Indoor Sports Hall, Liberty Stadium, Okeado, Ibadan on Tuesday the 27th and Wednesday the 28th of April 2021 by 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Wọ́n ní ìrírí ìtúsílẹ̀, ìyanu, ọ̀nà àbáyọ àti ìbùkún nínú àkànṣe ìpàdé yìí. For inquiries, call 0806-750-2323. Come, it's your turn for a miracle and Jesus is Lord.
Àrí kí n dẹ̀ra fóònù tuntun kó dẹ̀ máa gbóná he bí búrẹ́dì yọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yọ nú òfun báyìí. Ṣé kò ṣe pé wọ́n ti gbèrú mi látẹ̀yìn báyìí? Wọn ò lè má gbèrú ọ̀ látẹ̀yìn. Sódẹ̀kẹ́ torí pé pàdé lọ́ọ́ máa dá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ fóònù. Kí mo dẹ̀ máa ṣe? Ebi mo sọ fún ọ pé tó bá ti fẹ́ ra fóònù tí ò ní yọ lẹ́nu. Owó Source Phone and Electronic Stores ní kó o máa lọ. Ilé ìtajà fóònù tó fi máwọn nǹkan èlò ilé tó ń lona tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lálẹ́ hù ń bàdàn. Síkú yàtọ̀ sí gbàgì. Owó Source Phones and Electronic Stores ló mójúlẹ́jà fóònù tuntun tó jẹ́ quality tó sì pápòṣọ̀rẹ́ látòrí Samsung tó fi dórí Nokia, Tecno, Infinix, ITL, Oppo tí wọ́n sọ púpọ̀ ní Owó Source. Wọ́n ń ta fóònù àti electronics, wọ́n ń tún fóònù ṣe, wọ́n sì tún ṣe SIM registration. Kódà ẹ tún lè fi fóònù àlòkù yín gba tuntun ìyẹn swap deal lọ́nà tí ò ní níyín lára. Bákan náà èyíkéyìí phone accessories tẹ́ bá ń fẹ́ ó kúnlẹ̀ bí ẹrù. Wọ́n wà ní number 1 Ìtẹ̀síwájú House along Radio Nigeria Road, Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn tàbí ní suite 2 Ọláolúwa Complex, Ọjọ́ Roundabout, Ọjọ́ Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 090-4986-6985. Owó Source, ilé ẹrù fún fóònù tó jẹ́ ojúlówó.
Egbògi kan ti délẹ̀ yìí, egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣe ni ó dára fẹ̀jẹ̀ gidi gan. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o.
Ojú rẹ̀ ṣàjọlọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneto cleanser ni.
Já mi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ. Inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀. Amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà tìgbàlódé. NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù MA1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneto cleanser jáde. A wà ní number 17 Ọba Akínyẹlé off Adeogun Street, Aláàfin Avenue, Olúyọ̀lé Estate, Ring Road, Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08034051533 fún títà àti rírà. Ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Veneton cleanser àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ń ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
Wow, Deeper Life High School, home of quality education, located at Kilometer 10 Ibadan Oyo Expressway, opposite Deeper Life Campground. Our school is a mission co-education full boarding school. We are taught in the 21st century classroom with modern facilities to make teaching and learning fascinating.
Students are committed to all-round qualitative education with emphasis on academic and moral excellence. The school operates an e-learning system and can boast of cutting-edge facilities manned by competent and highly workforce.
Our facilities include 1 computer per child, well-equipped modern laboratories, modern libraries, comfortable hostels, modern sports complex, glamorous geographical gardens, fully automated e-learning process. Every child receives maximum attention because every child is important.
Admission into 2021-2022 academic session is in progress.
Log on to our website www.deeperlifehighschool.org through online form.
For further inquiries, visit our email dlhsexamsibadan@yahoo.com. You may call 081-5060-9684 or 081-5819-0119. Deeper Life High School.
Have you always wanted to have solar power in your home, but you've been told
It's expensive. Do you want to learn solar installation or become a distributor of solar products? Then listen closely. There's a company that's making solar products more affordable and accessible and training people in the business. I'm talking about BrainMass. At BrainMass, when you register with 5,000 Naira, you become a member, which gives you access to buy discounted solar products, learn solar installation, become a distributor, and also earn from referring others. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí àǹfààní yìí fò yín ro. Ẹ lè di distributor àti installer iná solar. Ẹ sì tún lè ra àwọn èlò solar power ní ẹ̀dínwó. Gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ bá ti register pẹ̀lú 5,000 Naira. A wà ní Suite 4 Abẹ́bí Plaza opposite NNPC filling station Àròmẹ́ta Ẹlẹ́yẹlé Ìbàdàn. Ẹ lè pè wá sí 070-311-93063. BrainMass. Power solution with a difference.
Bola, what have you been seriously studying for? I thought you were done with your exams.
Mommy, I've been preparing for the 32FM Smart Kids Ambassador Challenge.
What's that?
The 32FM Smart Kids Ambassador Challenge is a quiz competition for children on radio. If I answer all my questions correctly, I get to be an ambassador and also win a bicycle.
That's interesting, oh. Please face your book, I beg. Do you want snacks?
Yes, Mommy!
Hello, lads. That's it. Are you between the ages of 5 to 13 years old? From the 1st to the 27th of May, you have the opportunity to be a Smart Kids Ambassador. All you have to do is call on the show from 5:15 to 6 p.m. daily and answer all questions correctly. You also stand a chance to win bicycles, engineering sets, and lots more. What are you waiting for? Start studying. Be like Bola. Bola is a smart kid. The Smart Kids Ambassadors Challenge is proudly supported by Smart Kids Engineers, Design Bricks, Flour Mills Nigeria, Danabit Homes, Health Concerns. Note that you have the opportunity to give a shout out to your school on the show for a token. For sponsorship and inquiries, please call Talkback on 003-579-6925 or Sheung on 0703-602-1608. Smart Kids Ambassadors Challenge, the conquest of the best brain.
Àtótó àrẹ́rẹ́ gbogbo olórin fújì àpàlà gospel musicians islamic musicians gbogbo ẹ̀yin church àti alásàlátù gbogbo studio tá a ti ń porin pọ̀ tẹ́ ń fẹ́ musical instruments tó jẹ́ ojúlówó bíi keyboard drum set saxophone trumpet guitar mixer light speaker lóríṣiríṣi agogo pẹ̀lú gángan DN musical instruments and electronics ti wà ní àrọ́wọ́tó wa o ẹ tún wá wo àwọn home appliances lónìrànràn bíi home theatre tí ó máa milẹ̀ jẹ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀ fáànù tí ó máa fẹ́ tútù nítòjò tẹ̀rù MP3 and MP4 iron stabilizer wọ́n tún ta clipper tààràtà ní ọjà wọn ń wà láti òkè òkun sí orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà bí irinṣẹ́ DN musical instruments and electronics ṣe dáa tó kò wá ń wọ́n rárá o gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará ìyànà church olódó mọ́nàtán ìwó road àkóbọ̀ ẹgbẹ́dá lápapọ̀ ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ra musical instruments yín àti electronics yín ní DN musical instruments and electronics ní iléeṣẹ́ tó fọkàn balẹ̀ wọ́n wà ní àdójúkọ access bank mọ́nàtán ìwó road ìbàdàn ẹ̀ló wọn ní 090-60-29-34-75 tó bá ti jẹ́ pé DN musical instruments and electronics lẹ́tí ra irinṣẹ́ yín ẹ kọrin mọ́júmọ́ lókun.
There is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. Now I'm looking out my window, and what do I see? I see an army of a soldier man marching across the street. Hey, hey, Mr. Soldier Man, tomorrow is the day you go to war. Boy, you are fighting for another man's guns, and you don't reason. Could it be love for your country or for the gun you use in killing? So there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on
All right, thank you for staying with me. It is the Podium on 32 FM 94.9. And this is Asha playing Fire on the Mountain.
Can I get a chance to talk to you? 'Cause you are
Nigeria. Okay, because we have to save time, I could talk about this song and what it portends for Nigeria the way it is. But as I promised, this segment of the program, we will be looking at or discussing the Buhari administration and the struggle for integrity. Joining me from live on phone from is it Abuja or Lagos now? Dr. Shinaga is
Abuja.
Okay, joining me live from Abuja is Dr. Shegu Shinaga, who is an APC chieftain and a Buharist. I don't know if he's on his way out of that clique, but as at this morning, Dr. Shinaga is still a Buharist. Dr. Shinaga, good morning, sir.
Good morning. My pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for joining me. So let's get to this. Prior to 2015, the reputation that Buhari had was that of stoicism. It was that of a man who could not be swayed by emotions. It was that of a man who had integrity. A man before whom there was no tribe, ethnic group, race, nor color. He saw people as equal and was going to come to work in the interest of Nigeria. Dr. Shinaga, do you still hold these convictions?
Well, I must confess that it's like President Buhari has unraveled. Much of what has happened in the last 6 years have not tallied with the image of the Buhari we knew, unfortunately.
Now, what do you think has changed, Dr. Shinaga? Do you want to highlight the things that you think have changed?
Well, let me say that you don't really know people until they're in power. You will never truly know a man until he is in power. And so, and you know, one of the reasons why people act out of character, there are dynamics of power at play. In power, you have people who are around you, who you surround yourself with, probably is the strongest virtue or weakness you can have. People who have a say in your life, people you surround yourself with. And if there is anything, I think the tragedy here is largely the people the president has surrounded himself with. I do not think, and I still do not think, that Buhari is as bad as a lot of Nigerians feel or are seeing. I think what contributes largely to that perception are the kind of people the president has chosen around himself with. And he bears responsibility for that. You cannot acquit him or say he's innocent because whoever you allow yourself to be surrounded with, you have to bear responsibility for it. So I think the weakest link in the Buhari myth right now are the people who act for him. Are robbing the public in a very, very bad and wrong way.
Let's even take this first, Dr. Shinaga. If you're saying the president is not as bad as he is seen to be, or as bad as the impression people have of him, do you not think that the quality of people the president surrounds himself with speaks to the quality of his own mind and his leanings?
Well, undoubtedly so.
Before you go ahead, Reverend, before you go ahead, Doctor, I know you are a reverend, right? And I want to bring a biblical perspective. Does the Bible not say the deep calls out to the deep? So you can take it to the other side, that the shallow will also reach out to the shallow.
True that.
Okay, so bring up your reaction now. Are you there, Doctor?
Yeah, I am.
You can go ahead now. I was just trying to bring a biblical perspective to that discussion.
I understand that what has happened is that President Buhari has failed a major test of leadership by the quality of people you put around yourself. But don't forget that power, like I said, has its own peculiarities. And you can ask any president. I mean, if you sit down with Jonathan Goodluck today, he is amazed by some of the things he did, by some of the decisions he took. That he wasn't in his right mind, he wasn't in the right state of mind when he did those things. So, in the African context, power is a very, very dangerous place to be. But I won't acquit the president that is innocent, because he must bear responsibility for the kind of people you bring around yourself. And I think that is the area that he has failed the most.
There are insinuations that the president changed his friends the moment he ascended the throne. You have a relationship with Dr. Tunde Bakari.
Yeah.
He's your friend. You call him your boss a lot of the time.
Yes.
And I want to ask this question. Does this president still listen to counsel, or the counsel of those who started the journey with him going back to 2003?
Well, I can tell you authoritatively that his relationship with Pastor Bakari is still absolutely in place. In the last 6 years, Pastor Bakari has had access to him at least once a month in all those years. Well, sometimes more. But at least every single month, maybe until COVID started. And so they still have a very powerful relationship. Now, how many people of Pastor Bakari's quality does the president have around him? Bakari will come once a month, share his heart and his thoughts with him. But every day he has dozens of people around him who influence things, who don't have the moral standing or convictions of Pastor Bakari. So the truth is that the kind of people the president has had around himself do not pass the moral test most of those years around him. Good men like Pastor Bakari are few. And I think that is one of the reasons for the things you see. The president did something a few days ago, I think it was yesterday. He reversed the oil blocks that were seized from Adas Petroleum by people around him that they share to themselves. He gave order yesterday to reverse them back. Now, how do we know how many things they do behind his back? He found that out and he put his feet down, restored it. But I can bet you there are a dozen and one things, other things that he does not know or see about that they do. And that tells you the quality of men around him. They're just out there to steal, to kill, to steal and to loot.
To steal, to kill and destroy. You are going ministerial.
No. I didn't say.
I was just laughing at that.
to steal and loot. And for one man with the kind of, and he's an old man, he's been a sick old man. Give him some break.
It is not easy to give him
in the best of health.
Dr. Shegu, it's not easy to give the man a break. He knew his age before he ran for president in 2015. He knew his age and his health status before he put his head into the ring again in 2019. So why should Nigerians give him a break? Why? If you cannot stand the heat in the kitchen, shouldn't you get out of the kitchen?
Get out. Well, this is the democracy, my brother. If he put himself there and people say, no, you are too old, we don't want you, he won't be there.
But when you find out that you can't cope, should you not leave?
It's a two-way street. What I am saying is that in a president's cup, it's always too full. He cannot possibly humanly see through everything that is done. And that is the reason why he should have had more people around himself. And I think his greatest failure is that he has not surrounded himself sufficiently with morally upright, incorruptible men. And if he had done that, the story would have been different.
Now,
nearly everybody around him is what they can get. They want to be rich for 5-6 generations. And so they are stealing, they are looting. And it all comes back to him. And the buck stops at his table. So, I'm sorry. He has to bear responsibility for that. Not only for what he does, but for what those he surrounds himself with, that he allows them to get away with. Honestly, if you ask me, they are getting away with murder.
Now,
and let me say this. I still will refuse to give up on this president. As bleak as things look, as bad as things are, only a fool will tell you things are not bad. Even the Minister of Defense said it like that Nigeria is bleeding. Bandits, Boko Haram, kidnappers are running rampage across the land. It has never been this bad. Let nobody lie to us. It has never, ever been this bad. And President Buhari must take responsibility for this failure. But, like I said, I won't give up on him. He still has 2 years. And my prayer is that he will rise. He will rise up like a man. And fight with everything he has, so that at least we can reverse these losses and this perception.
You think this president still has some fight in him?
I think he does.
You just talked about his poor health and his age. Do you think these things will still allow him to put up enough fight to reverse the terrible and awful losses of the past 6 years?
My prayer, and God knows that I wish this president well. God knows I did everything humanly possible within my power to campaign, to promote, to defend him. It will be a personal tragedy for me if this president ends up the way things are going. It will be a personal tragedy for me. Therefore, I am praying, I am hoping, I am trusting that Mr. President will pull himself up, and he needs to do it like yesterday. But he has a chance coming. May 29th is the 6th anniversary. That is a major landmark. But he needs to do it like yesterday. He needs to weed out from his environment, all these suckers, all these vermins, all these evil men.
You're expecting a cabinet reshuffle?
More than a cabinet reshuffle, the president needs to do a drastic makeover. If he will ever have a chance to leave a legacy, the Nigerians will say, okay, he missed a lot of things the first 6 years, but the last 2 years, he did his best to take a comeback. That's my expectation. That's my prayer. And I pray that God will give him the courage to stand up to all the giants around him who, for their own selfish, greedy interests, are manipulating things, cornering things, and looting things for their own sake and their own children, and leaving this country on the edge of disaster. I pray that this president will summon courage, will do everything humanly possible to change the narrative, because as it is bad enough.
Dr. Oshinaga still believes in the president. Dr. Oshinaga is a merchant of hope. I'll be back to discuss with him, building on that statement of hope, statement of belief, when I return from this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
FM 94.9.
Who be this now? This person go scatter my phone, oh. How far? You won't blow my phone?
Guy, I don't even get airtime to flash. Now why they beep you with glow beep?
And so?
Ben Coco be say, that babe, where you done the shadow since, they with me now.
Now lie. Where you dey?
I dey T-bar and she find scatter. See, some men don't try their local.
Now lie. Oh boy, no time.
Now you can pass that urgent message on Glow Beep even with zero balance. Dial any network on zero balance and Glow Beep will notify that number with a missed call alert. Never miss a call with Glow Beep.
Glow Unlimited.
gbogbo ẹni tọ́dún bá bá láyé ọlọ́dún ni gbogbo wọn. ìdí nìyí tílé ìtajà Living Proof Bakery and Supermarket fi gbé àrà ọ̀tun yọ lásìkò oṣù Ramadan yìí. gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa pátápátá ìfà tí kì í fani lápòyà rèé tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ra èyíkéyìí àwọn ọjà nílé ìtajà wa Living Proof Bakery and Supermarket tí owó rẹ̀ sì tó $10,000 náírà 10,000 naira upward. ẹ láǹfààní sáwọn àgbọ̀kọ̀há ẹ̀bùn lóníranran bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ lẹ́dínwó ń bẹ lórí àwọn ọjà wa gbogbo pẹ̀lú ẹ̀dínwó lọ́pọ̀ yanturu bí oúnjẹ jíjẹ ọtí ẹlẹ́rìndòdò ìpara toiletries sardine bread àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ láwọn ilé ìtajà wa tí ń bẹ káàkiri ní Fẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ Old Pinnacle Ìbàdàn lẹ́lẹ́yẹlé Ológun Ẹ̀rú road ládojúkọ Mania fueling station Ìbàdàn bẹ́ẹ̀ àti èyí tó wà ní LP Plaza Láyégún Ọ̀lẹ́yọ̀ road Ìbàdàn. fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ lè pè wá sórí 0803-545-7120 tàbí 0815-466-4418.
Bọ́lá, kí ló wá kà látàárọ̀ báyìí? Mo lérò pé o ti parí ìdánwò ẹ ni.
Màámi, mo ń gbáradì fún 32 FM Smart Kids Ambassador Challenge ni o.
Kí nìyẹn?
Smart Kids Ambassador Challenge jẹ́ ìdíje àwọn ọmọdé lórí afẹ́fẹ́. Oríṣiríṣi ìbéèrè ni wọ́n máa béèrè. Tí mo bá sì dáhùn gbogbo ẹ̀ dáadáa, wọ́n máa fún mi ní kẹ̀kẹ́. Mo sì máa jẹ́ aṣojú 32 FM.
Ìyẹn náà máa dáa o. Ó yá, kọjúmọ́ òwe ẹ̀ kó kà dáadáa. Ṣùgbọ́n ọkọ mi, ṣé kí n bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe oúnjẹ?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, màámi.
Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọdé, òun lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn o. Ǹjẹ́ òun bẹ láàrin ọmọ ọdún 5 sí ọmọ ọdún 13 láti ọjọ́ kìíní títí di ọjọ́ 27. Ẹ ní àǹfààní láti jẹ ẹ̀bùn kẹ̀kẹ́ àti láti jẹ́ aṣojú 32 FM. Ẹ̀yin ẹ kàn pè sórí ètò láti ọjọ́ ajé títí di ọjọ́ ẹtì bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 5 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 sáago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́. Ẹ dáhùn gbogbo ìbéèrè tí wọ́n bá béèrè kí ẹ sì gba gbogbo ẹ̀. Ọmọdé tí ó bá ní àmì tí ó ga jù náà ni yóò jẹ́ aṣojú 32 FM ní ọjọ́ yẹn. Yóò sì tún jẹ ẹ̀bùn kẹ̀kẹ́, ohun èlò onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ fún ọmọdé àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ó yá, ẹ kọjú mọ́ ìwé yín kí ẹ sì kà á dáadáa. Ẹ má sọ àǹfààní yìí nù o. Àwọn onígbọ̀wọ́ ètò yìí ni Smart Kids Engineer, Design Bricks, Flour Mills Nigeria, Denabit Homes, Health Concern. Kò tí ì tán o, ẹ tún ní àǹfààní láti kí ilé ìwé yín lórí ètò yín fún owó tí ò ga jọra lọ. fún ìbéèrè ẹ pè àwọn nọ́mbà yìí Tọ́pẹ́ 0803 579 6925 tàbí Ṣeun sórí 0703 6021 608 Smart Kids Ambassador Challenge ìfigagbága àwọn ọmọ olórí pípé.
tí kò bá ẹ̀kọ́ ó dání lójú pé.
Ìbàdàn 9 mobile 4G LTE ti balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀. àfihàn eré ìdárayá bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbà wọn ní yàjó á yàtọ̀. ìpè lórí fídíò àwọn ọmọdé rẹ̀ kéṣe kan iṣẹ́ yóò máa lọ ní rọrùn kò sí yọnu.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o Ìbàdàn ẹ jẹ gbádùn ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ayélujára pẹ̀lú ojúlówó 4G LTE lórí àtẹ data 9 mobile gba gígábáìtì méjì pẹ̀lú wíwà lórí social media lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fún ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà gígábáìtì méje pẹ̀lú wíwà lórí social media lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fún ẹgbẹ̀rún kan lé lẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà àti gígábáìtì mẹ́ta àtààbọ̀ dátà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lálẹ́ ní àwọn àṣàyàn olóṣooṣù fún dátà ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún kan náírà àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tẹ *200*3*1# láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlànà àtàdéhùn wàṣà o 9 mobile.
Kọ́lá. Ó máa mi. Lọ mú àpò rẹ́bẹ̀tẹ̀ bílíṣì àìpò méjì fún mi. Máa mi méjì báwo. Torí pé màá fi kan rẹ àwọn aṣọ funfun yìí màá fi kan tó kún pa gbogbo kòkòrò. ṣùgbọ́n èmi ò rí kòkòrò ń bíbá ẹ̀ máa mi. wo wọ́n kéré débi pé o ò lè fojú rí wọn ṣùgbọ́n wá ìdí nìyẹn tọkàn mi fi balẹ̀ lórí bílíṣì àìpò láti pa wọ́n pátápátá.
jẹ́ káṣọ funfun rẹ funfun sí i kí lè rẹ́ sì bọ́ lọ́wọ́ kòkòrò àìfojúrí tí ń fa àìsàn. agbára àfọ̀mọ́ tó wà nínú bílíṣì àìpò yóò pa gbogbo kòkòrò àìfojúrí pátápátá.
Safasa pelisizo simnyama Iwasafa Isizo Saba.
All right, thank you for staying. This is the Podium. We're live with Dr. Shegu Oshinaga, an APC chieftain and self-confessed Buharist. Dr. Oshinaga, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Doctor. So let's talk about Pantami Gate. The president, through his spokesman, has passed a vote of confidence on Pantami. Now, the presidency, when we say presidency, it's actually the president. I do not think Garba Shehu would release a statement on behalf of the president without his endorsement. Now, so the president says the things Pantami said in the past are in the past. If any man be with Buhari, he is a new creation. All things are passed away. All things are become new. That is the gospel of Buhari and the APC. Doctor, how do you feel? Are you throwing a party that your president, your man, would defend a man who has a history of having spoken in support of terrorism?
Well, I respectfully disagree with the president on that score. Pantami's case is pretty bad. Pantami's case is bad news for his government. You see, one of the things that this government has missed, has not done well, is in the issue of optics. Managing people's perception of the government has been poorly, and one of he is the worst thing that can happen to any government. The way he talks so arrogantly and rudely to people further damages the brand of Mr. President. And if the president wants to change the perception of people about himself, must do away with these people. They are giving him a bad name. They are making things worse for him. Imagine Gabashewu comparing Patami and Kemi Adeosun and saying this is worse. For God's sake, who does that? And so the problem with President Buhari is himself to dispense of their services and look for credible men, capable people, women from across the length and breadth of this country. I'm sorry, it will go down in history in a very bad way. But like I said, I'm very optimistic. I refuse to give up on this president.
How could you, Dr. Shinaga? Dr. Shinaga.
Yeah.
Now, is this you just being religious, or is this you just being loyal to a wrong decision you took two times? Now, this is my opinion. Now, because if this president, now you see, look at the trend. Look at the trend. You have had a lot of crises within the presidency where people who are close to the president have messed up at critical times. And these people, most of them will sit tight. Onogen was forced out of office. Kemi Adeosun was pushed to the point of resigning her office, right? And you could go on and on. But you find a Pantami against whom you have verifiable evidence, including audio-visual clips. And this presidency says, no, he is washed clean because he said those things during his younger years. And you want to ask, do people really renounce ideologies like that, especially deeply entrenched religious ideologies? Do people really renounce them that way? How could you still believe in the president?
Yes, I still believe in the president because my conviction at the beginning of this whole thing was based on the fact that I believe that he was coming to make changes. Well, he hasn't impressed too many people, but I still want to give it to him that he can do it if he gets ready to do it. He still has 2 years to go. I believe that he can if he wants to. If he remembers or he cares about how history will remember him. And I think he should. Then now is the time to do an overhaul of his government, to change his attitude to other ethnicities in this country. It's time for him to become a father of all and not just a section of the country. And I pray and I hope that he does so. If after May 29th nothing happens, then we can discuss again.
Okay, let me ask this, Doctor. Some guys who were allegedly called repentant Boko Haram militants or soldiers some months back were hosted by government officials. In the 2021 appropriation bill, there was a provision for the training of repentant Boko Haram officials. Right? Now, some funds were actually even voted to have some of them sent to school. There have been reports also that some of these presumed repentant Boko Haram fighters had returned to the forest after scouting the cities and finding new weak points. Now you have a Pantami with a very robust and rich terrorism-leaning background.
Yeah.
He has just been, in fact, there was no slap on the wrist. He has just been washed by the government. Does this not create a window through which you can see into what the president stands for as regards religious intolerance in Nigeria?
Well, again, I will say bad optics, very, very bad optics. One, how in the world do you say you pardon terrorists, repent? How do you determine that they have repented? It's a crazy policy. And I hope that the president will walk away from it. Earlier in the week, we saw the different opinions shared by Governor El Rufai and the Minister of Defense. And I will align with El-Rufai. He said, go to the forest, bomb the whole thing.
But the same El-Rufai paid bandits.
Well, I guess that was at the early stage. He's refused to pay anybody now. He's even refused to pay ransom for those who are kidnapped. So I would prefer his policy of don't spare them, no mercy, than the ones that are saying, well, you have to be careful. Rights. What right does the terrorist have? What is he doing in the forest in the first place? So I think this government needs to move to the hardline side. You can't defeat terror playing fancy with it. You can't defeat terror playing these games. So one of the reasons why our security forces have not been able to do much is because there's no accountability. I would desire that in the next 2 years, the government would roll out some draconian rules, like for the IG or commissioners of police. If any kidnapping takes place in your territory, you are fired. By the time you fire first, second, third, fourth set, others will sit up. When there are one of the biggest shame of this government, there are no consequences for misbehavior. We have seen people misbehave and nothing has happened to them. They are not sacked, they are not queried. Nothing happens to them. Well, you can't get results that way.
And then you reward them with ambassadorial appointments.
That's crazy. That is
it's a joke.
Crazy.
It's a joke of an administration.
This is totally crazy. And I believe it's when the president wakes, I hope he wakes up now and fight for his legacy, fight for his name in history, fight for his place in history. Get up now and become the president. I mean, I read the statement that came after the 83 people were killed in Zamfara, saying that they are testing the patience. What patience must you have again after all these killings? Go out there and wipe them out. Wasn't this same General Buhari during Shagari's time as GOC who went beyond Nigeria borders to chase those criminals? What happened to him? So for those of us who love him, and I do, for those of us who care about his legacy, and I do, our prayer is that President Buhari will get up and be the man we used to know him to be.
Okay. Well, I personally think if God was a man, he would become weary of prayers from Nigeria by now. Yeah, because I mean, we bother him with a lot of unnecessary things. But
I agree with you.
Two more questions, Reverend, and I'll allow you to go. Okay. Looking at how Buhari has turned out, 2015, I tell people, some of us started voting him, and I'm not proud to say this, but I'm also not ashamed. I'm in between to say this. Some of us started voting him from 2003 to 2015. Now, looking at how President Buhari has turned out within these 6 years, what do you think voters should learn about aspiring leaders? What do you think we should learn? How do you think we should assess them? Because now we have a lot of people coming out in 2023, including your own man, who has been speaking prophetically. How do you think voters should assess aspirants going forward?
Well, I think, the problem we have is that we have a lot of rural people who are not exposed to modern education or how things are done. And as long as you have a large proportion of your voting proportion uneducated, unsophisticated, there'll be the problem of them properly assessing who to vote for. But for at least those who are educated, we need to look more at people's character. People's character. And let me say this, a lot of Christians are not involved in politics because we believe it's dirty. But the truth is that darkness will not leave until light comes in. Many more morally upright people need to join politics, play active parts from the ward level. You know, in 2020, before 2019, they were shouting, go and get your voter's card. Go and get your voter's card. By the time you vote on voting day, it's too late.
That's true.
The real problem is in the selection of those who represent you. And that is done from what levels? So until there's a critical mass of morally upright people involved in this process called politics, we're doomed. The reason why politicians steal a lot of money in office is because our people are going to be asking them for money. Their children are doing birthdays, they have to pay. Their wives gave birth, they have to pay hospital bills. The children need to go to school, they need to pay school fees. And for politicians to be able to do that, they must have a huge war chest. So you can't collect all of those things from politicians and then they now say they should not steal. Some have sold houses. I know somebody that was running for House of Rep, sold his house in London, sold 3 houses in Lagos, in VI, and ended up spending close to 300 million for House of Rep. And he enters, he says he should not make his money back. So we need to go back to the roots. For proper political education, people must understand that it's not how much a politician gives you. It is the policy he makes that makes life easier for you. Awolowo and the Action Group started free education. Most of the educated people we have in this time, in this age, benefited from that. Many would never have gone to school without that. Now that is the value of politicians that don't buy your votes. So it requires a massive amount of education at the grassroots.
All right, Reverend.
And then
okay, can you close? I wanted to close the thought.
Join. Okay. Let me close by saying that don't give up on President Buhari yet.
Oh no, Reverend.
Don't give up.
Oh no, Reverend. Oh no, Reverend. Reverend, don't do that. Oh no. Oh no. No. Oh no.
Let's hope and let's pray.
Okay.
That Buhari will emerge from whatever is tying him down to really give account.
Somebody is singing lullaby into the president's ears. He doesn't want to wake up.
He will.
Oh, he doesn't want to wake up.
We will have this conversation again.
Just like Bruno Mars said, today I just don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lay in my bed. I think that's what the president says every morning. You want to have the conversation again, Dr. Oshinaga, after May 29?
Yes.
Okay, I assure you the weekend after May 29. I'm going to host you to a call. You're expecting a major shake-up by May 29.
Well, that is the only option left for this president.
You believe in him. Let's hope. You go pray for him, doctor.
He has to shake up everything and bring in new hands.
Shake the shakeable.
Fresh brains.
Okay.
To think outside the box, to bring Nigeria together and bring prosperity back.
I want to thank you, Dr. Oshinaga, for speaking with
My
us this
pleasure.
morning.
My pleasure.
The next time we're talking, we'll be discussing your friend, Pastor Tunde Bakari, who said Buhari is number 15. He is number 16.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Great. So we're going to have you first Saturday in the month of June. Hopefully, God keeping us.
All right.
Keep
Thank
praying.
you.
Keep praying for your president.
and you pray too.
I'll
He's
be
your
praying.
president.
I'll be praying for Nigeria. Have a beautiful weekend, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you. And that was Dr. Shagu Oshinaga. A very beautiful time, I believe. I have 10 minutes to go. Let's start taking calls. 09062000949. I'm going to restrict every caller to 1 minute. Once your minute is done, we're going to drop the call. So please express your thoughts briefly. Good morning.
Good morning. Is my name.
Please, no, that would not work. If you're calling the radio station, the first thing to do is turn off your radio set or turn down the volume, or you move away from that radio set so that we can hear you clearly. You have 1 minute. Put all your thoughts into a minute. And then, if it's going to be extended, maybe it will be at the discretion of this authoritarian that is anchoring the show. 09062000949. 09062000949. I seem to love that song I played earlier by Idris Abdul Karim. Do I bring it up again? While the calls are coming. Okay, I have a caller. Please wait. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Chinedu. I'm calling from Udono.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, I just want to advise that we do not throw away the baby with the bath water. In terms of security, it is true that Buhari is finding it very difficult to handle. But there are some other areas he has done very well, like infrastructure and I think agriculture. So we shouldn't come already all the time and just be blaming him. Let us also talk those areas that he has done very well. We should praise him too. That's just my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's kind of you. 09062000949. But I hope we remember that it is when people are alive that they can enjoy infrastructure. When people are dead, who is going to drive on the roads? Who is going to eat what they say they are planting? Rice. Rice revolution. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. HEZEKIAH.
Thank you very much. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, Mayowa from Mania.
Very well. 1 minute.
I would not want to attack the last caller, but it's obvious, like you said, he's a Buhari, and he's trying to save his own face by not denouncing his previous claim.
You mean my guest?
Yes,
okay.
The last yes. Well, unfortunately, the country we find ourselves, we are a bunch of mediocres that does not want to say this truth the way it is. How would you say a government is behind a pantami that can only change what he says, he cannot change his ideology and beliefs? Because I wonder why a government will come out and say we are fully supporting this man that has ties with the most terrorist organization in the world, that categorically says he and his cohorts are happy when non-believers are being killed. Because I don't really understand why a country like ours would have such person at that terms of that critical aspect of the nation's security, information or communication. What I don't even know the portfolio is.
Communications and digital economy.
Because your guest is like Buhari, the people he is serving with. I mean, the guys he have in his cabinet are the one doing these things. Show me your friend, and I will tell you who you are.
All right. Thank you.
You cannot I don't understand this government we are running in this country. Thank you. Have a good day.
We will understand it better by and by, Okay, Adewale Rapchari Kafar wrote on YouTube, Good morning, sir. God bless you and all patriotic AOPs who are not bought over by these bloodthirsty leaders. When a leader is less concerned about what happens to the followers, then it is glaring that shedding of blood is nothing to them. Putting square pegs in round holes had been the game of every day, and with that, future can't be any better. Looking at the way this handling of security matters is, you will know some of them are hellbound candidates. Oh, that's wrong. What stops this government from swinging into action whenever a critic makes a pronouncement? Now Nigeria is crying more. Now Nigeria is crying more. All right, sorry about it. Now Nigeria is crying more. So Adewale Rapture closes this way. More than the bereaved for the death of Idris Deby of Chad. Are they not telling us that we're in to close cells with insecurity? All we need is turning back to God in confession and repentance. Thanks. All right, thank you, Adewale Rapture. That was nice. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
My name is Waboise, calling from the state.
You're welcome, Waboise. 1 minute.
Yeah. When Ondage was, when they gave him position, they removed him and charged him to court. Because this man now is from the north, so the president can defend him. I have been saying it. As long as we have these people in power, the northern people in power, Nigeria will never have progress. Look at the way they humiliated Adeosun. Because it's their own man. That's me. When the president come back from, he said continuity. Let's continue and see where it will lead us to.
All right, thank you, Wabweze. Nice. That was short and succinct. He said, continuity, I remember that statement. Now, you see, I actually believe that the Southwest is very naive. We're very naive politically. We're going to hang our own to dry while the North will defend its own. Someday we're going to talk about that. Good morning.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Is this a lady?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm giving you 2 minutes, not 1 minute. It's good to hear a lady. Your name and where you're calling from.
I am AKINRINDE Esther.
Thank you, Esther.
From Akwete, Ibadan.
Right,
my own point of view is that until we stop voting for people regarding their ethnicity, we should just vote for people with personality. Because when we vote for people personality, we will know the kind of person that is going in power. Not that it is our people and things like that. And that is what is really affecting our country. So in case of Buhari, he's really trying, but when you have polarizing in one person as a person, even if he's trying all his best to put things in power, everything will still be falling down. Turning upside down. So we should just try and work with ourselves. Everything is based on love. Because all of these tribe, Yoruba, outside Igbo, that doesn't stop anything. We should just vote for people's personality. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Esther. I appreciate you. That was a nice one. Esther is a preacher of love. I'm not a preacher of love. I'm a fighter. I'm the war. I'm the liquid metal. In the Boski, you remember that guy? Esther is a preacher of love. Esther said, walk in love. Let's walk in love. I cannot take more calls again. My studio manager is right beside me, holding a gun to my head, saying, get out of the studios. And that's the program this morning. I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for talking about Nigeria and thinking about Nigeria. Let us hope that, like Dr. Shego Shinaga believes, Nigeria can recover the losses of 6 years in 2 years. Let us hope the president wakes from his sleep. Let us hope that whosoever is singing that enchanting lullaby into his ears, or maybe his ear, the left or the right, I do not know. Let's hope that person stops and this president can return to life and know that there is a nation. Nigeria is not a nation. Let him know that there is a country to defend and there are people on whose side he should be. I'll return to the airwaves tomorrow 6 p.m. on Gospel Cruise. The Podium will return next Saturday at 8 a.m. Special thanks to my supervising producers, Tayo Ogwade and Samuel Akinton. Today is Tayo Ogwade's birthday. Happy birthday, Tayo. long life and prosperity. Igba ọdún kan ó ti dàgbà already náà, á tún dàgbà sí náà ni. Agbo kwokwo aferigi jobi. An appreciation to my executive producer, Tunji Abioye. HEZEKIAH OLUWASEUN AKINRINDE. I watched this morning with Kayode Obisheson as my studio manager. Good morning. Have a beautiful weekend.
When the people became silent,
The government became oppressive. It's time to lend your voice to politics.
on